Faded chapters and closer every day. 9:44 with Zoro sitting on a tombstone. It seems like everybody wants to get this one right. So, 9:42. Cover is Mondor eating some cheese. I've given up. I really have. I've given up hoping for a new cover story. Don't get me wrong, I like Mondor. I mean, he's one of my favorite Charlotte family members. But I've given up on the cover story happening anytime soon. Chapter opens up with a flashback in Wano during an unspecified time. But I think it's obvious to say that it's been more than 20 years because everything hasn't been taken over by Kaido or Orochi. Whether this is before or after Oden's time on Roger and Whitebeard's ship is unclear, but I'd say it was pretty much before, because Oden mentions that he was recently banished from the castle, and on top of it later on in the chapter, he says that he wishes that he could go out to sea and that he hates that the country is so isolated. So this pretty much confirms that it was before. Not to mention, it doesn't look like he's reformed Curry yet, and Yasu comments that Oden isn't really a proper warrior yet. We got Yasu when he was a daimyo rallying his people to protect the quote-unquote only proper port in Wano, saying that they need to protect the country because there are people who come into the country and mean to do them harm. But he also says there are those who are kind of friendly as well. So does this mean that prior to Kaido and Orochi taking power, was Wano less strict with its isolationism? Were people allowed into the country if they were deemed non-hostile by the port security or port authority? I work at an airport, but still keeping the citizens from leaving the country? I mean, this would explain Kinemon's ignorance to the outside world given his age and the time period that he was in before he was thrown into the future. Yasu was giving Oden crap for goofing around, saying that he's the son of the shogun, while Oden is telling him that it doesn't matter because he was banished from the castle, and regardless of that fact, things are progressing towards Oden's father choosing Yasu as the next shogun of Wano. While we're on this subject, can we stop with the silhouettes already? I mean, come on, Oda, what the hell? Hiding a character's appearance is either to hide their identity because we've seen them before in the story, but since Oden died before the main story even began, I don't think that this is the likely option. It's also used to hype up a character's design. Given how Oda has used silhouettes for Wano characters so far, I seriously doubt that Oden's gonna have a hype design. I mean, look at Kanjuro. When we got the flashback of Momonosuke and Dressrosa, Kanjuro was a slim guy with a ponytail in his hair, and also shouts out to Library of Valhalla for making a lot of these images that I'm using so easy to find. And as soon as we get Kanjuro's design, as soon as he's revealed in the Dressrosa arc, he's some goofy looking character. Like, I've given up on Oda's designs, especially for a lot of the samurai in Wano. I know that design and the way that they're presented isn't really all that matters. It's about their actions, but presentation is half of the battle. That's what I keep saying. If the character doesn't look the part, what he does is not going to be as hype. And yeah, you can argue that hype isn't what One Piece is about, but still, presentation, Oda, presentation. But Yasu beats Oden over the head, exclaiming that Sukiyaki, I think his name was, only banished him as an act of love to get his act together, removing him from a life of lavish and luxury, and forcing him to become an actual warrior of Wano, somebody who's worth being a shogun, being the son of the shogun. Given how things turned out with Oden performing the most dangerous and lawless area in Wano, becoming so strong that he defeated Ashura Doji, who was the strongest samurai in Curry at the time, and on top of that drawing the attention of both Whitebeard and Roger to recruit him for their crews, I think it kinda worked. Flashback ends with Oden saying that he wants to go out to sea and that it sucks that the country is so against the citizens leaving, which I'm still a little confused on that. But back in the present, all of the citizens of Wano are crying over Yasu being captured. While his identity as a daimyo who supported the Kozuki is being revealed, as well as his crimes are being read off, he admits that he lied about being the Witching Hour boy, who I'm still hoping is the combined effort of Hiyori and Toko, giving Toko more of, like I said before, like I've said in a lot of my other videos, I'm hoping that Otoko has some type of ability, whether it just be maneuverability or anything combat related. I'm hoping that she's some type of ninja. The way things are progressing, it's looking more and more likely that it may just be Denjuro who is the witching hour boy. You know, the last of the 3 samurai that Kinemon mentioned that we needed in order for the plan to take out Kaido to succeed, with the other 2 samurai being Ashura Doji and Kawamatsu respectively. And we get the information that Yasu pretty much let himself get caught, and Drake mentions that Yasu is more of an inspirational figure than they originally expected, since the people of Ebisu Town came rushing into the capital. We also get a shot of Yasu's view from his execution platform, and it almost mirrors Roger's execution, especially given the speech that he gives to rally the allied forces of the Kozuki, similar to how Roger's speech during his execution rallied pirates to go out to sea and cause chaos. Yeah, but the speech that he gives rallies the allied forces of the Kozuki while simultaneously removing suspicion that the Kozuki have returned by saying that he created the rumors and the image that was being passed around just to mess with Odin, while also reinforcing the idea that Orochi is just a paranoid coward and gets his men to further question the decisions that he's making up until this point. I like Yasu's plan because it works on so many different fronts, while at the same time I've seen people show their dislike for this entire chapter because they believe that Yasu made everything that happened in Wano up until this point irrelevant. And to be honest, I disagree, because while he did fix the issue of the plan being outed, he didn't fix Luffy's current situation of being trapped in the Udon prison. And without the previous events happening the way that they did, Luffy would not be in the situation to gather more allies in the old Yakuza bosses, as well as learning to advance his current state of color of arms. And for those who've seen Black Sails, it's similar to the death of Charles Vane. After a massive loss in morale, forces, and everything else when it comes to a plan, one major death of an influential figure is all it would take to not only raise the morale of the current troops, but rally those who are hesitant to go against the current rule, as well as get those who are loyal to the oppressors to doubt whether or not they're supporting the right side. As Orochi approaches asking Yasu to say his last words, Yasu continuing to fire shots, no pun intended, starts singing about how small of a man Orochi is. And as Otoko approaches the capital, Orochi and his men begin executing Yasu by a fire squad. And with all the Ebisu Town people there to witness it, they just broke the hell down crying. But because of the fact that the citizens can't stop smiling, they're laughing while crying, and that also includes Otoko. Understandably, Zoro gets pissed, yelling at them to stop laughing, and is about to make him do so himself till Hiyori says that it's who they are, and because of the smile fruits being brought into the country. And the chapter ends there with a break next week again. 8 out of 10 for me. Another simple, short, to the point chapter. I found it pretty grim that Oda not only decided to include Otoko witnessing her father's gruesome execution, but laugh hysterically with tears and snot running down her face. Hell, I thought it was kind of messed up to have him die by multiple gunshots. That's rough, even for Orochi. In Roger's execution, he was stabbed in the neck from both sides, cutting his spinal cord. That's quick, almost painless. Some samurai movies that I've seen, deserters are stabbed through the heart, or they get their head chopped off.
Do it! Well done, Sekiro.
It's near instant, almost painless. Looking at what Hiyori said at the end about Ebisu Town citizens smiling because of the smile fruit being brought to the country. Shouts out to the Ref Wars podcast for putting the idea that it may be because the citizens of Ebisu Town were starving so much, in fact, that they ate the discarded smile fruits that were even bigger failures than the imperfect ones that Caesar makes. And instead of giving them the abilities of animals, it just forced them to smile permanently. It may have been a serious backfired, trial and error on the smile fruit before the production of smiles were moved to Dressrosa and the Tontadas were forced to start growing. But I think it might just be a psychological trauma that they took the idea of smile in the face of hardship because crying won't make anything better and pumped it up to extremes because of so many years of extreme trauma and hardships that even seeing that their symbol to continue living getting massacred, they still can't drop their smiles. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's kind of grim too. I'm hoping that next chapter we get to see more of Otoko's reaction and how she deals with seeing her father's death. And I'm hoping that this actually leads to something for her, like Otoko being the first one to drop her smile. I mean, we already know that we're gathering massive forces because of Yasu's sacrifice. About to say Ebisu, but I want to see more development from Toko. Heck, I even want to see Toko and Iori go with Zoro into Kuri to meet up with Momonosuke, even though both of them said that they wanted to wait until after the big battle. Either that, or we finally go back over to the prison where Luffy is and Big Mom begins to enter, because this is the next day, and last time we saw Luffy, I believe it was the day before, because Komurasaki's funeral was taking place the following day, and Big Mom was pretty close to the prison. But anyway, on the last video, Prince G commented, Mihawk being an emperor level person is debunked because an emperor would have dealt with someone like Vista instantly. Vista is the 5th Division commander, and he was able to clash with Mihawk and come out okay. Jozu was able to block Mihawk's attack. Jozu is a 3rd Division commander individually. If Mihawk isn't taking out commander level individuals easily, he's not emperor level at all. Oda has had Shanks clash with admirals and even emperors. Now, my issue with that is that it was already confirmed that division number that you were, the division captain number, didn't matter in terms of strength. As far as we know, Mihawk was not taking anything in that war seriously. He wasn't really trying to take anyone out because I guess pirates will be pirates. Mihawk does whatever he wants. He's a G. And Jozu being able to block one of Mihawk's slashes, while you can argue that that slash should have cut Diamond, Jozu is the defense of the Whitebeard Pirates, as stated in one of the Vivre cards. He takes the brunt of every attack and comes out okay. Mihawk, yes, should have been able to cut Diamond, but I think the only time you cut something like Diamond or Steel is when you're trying to cut Diamond or Steel. On top of that, you can argue that Big Mom got pushed off the ship by Jinbei. Yeah, you can say it was a weakened Big Mom, but an emperor is still an emperor, whether she loses her mind or not. But anyway, guys, like the video if you did, comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys later.